Dr. Oz is now saying, you know, maybe the truth about Tylenol and pregnancy and autism isn't so much what Donald Trump said in that whacked out Gong Show press conference. Maybe it's just what doctors have said all along, which is don't take anything unless you really need it. And it seems that when doctors tell pregnant women take Tylenol, that the benefits outweigh the risks. So let's back up a little bit. Donald Trump did this whole riff claiming pregnant women should not take Tylenol. He linked it to autism. He said acetaminophen, which he aceta. Whoa, wait. How do you say aceta? Anyway, Trump said that acetaminophen, which is the active ingredient in Tylenol, if taken by pregnant women, significantly increases the probability that the child will ultimately be diagnosed with autism. Trump also said the Amish have no autism. That's not true. Trump also said Cuba has no autism. That's not true. Cuba has a very slightly higher rate of autism than the United States. But the conclusion from Trump was, quote, with Tylenol, don't take it. Don't take it. Now, standing right behind him was Dr. Mehmet Oz. He is now running Medicare and Medicaid, and he was nodding along like a bobblehead. Or was he? Because there are some who said, you know, the look on his face, if we are to interpret body language, was maybe this isn't so good. Well, the next day, Dr. Oz went and talked to TMZ, and he kind of walked it back. He said, if a pregnant woman has a high fever, taking Tylenol to bring it down makes sense. Use it when appropriate. And what's fascinating about this is that Trump makes this statement, Oz makes this statement, and if you really are listening carefully, what Dr. Oz is saying is what was the existing medical guidance. If you talk to an OBGYN, they will tell you the normal guidance is don't take anything unless it is appropriate. We have different categories of drugs for pregnant women. I just went through this. What antibiotics are okay to take, or what if I need an eardrop or an eye drop? These are all categorized as a general principle. And by the way, this isn't just for pregnant women. You should really only take a medication if you need it. You know, I know people who it's funny. It's kind of like I can't speak to other countries, but in Argentina, there's sort of like this cultural thing of like, oh no, I'm kind of like on a regular dose of Tylenol, like my back feels better or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, I don't know that makes any sense at all. You really want to be taking any medication once you've evaluated the risks, you've determined if it's appropriate for the symptom or condition you have, you've consulted with a doctor, and when the benefits outweigh the risks and you've received informed consent. That's what Dr. Oz is saying. Take medications when appropriate based on symptoms and consultation with your doctor. It's not really anything different from what there was before. Dr. Oz is effectively saying what we were already doing with Tylenol is what makes sense. Now, medical organizations did not mince words on this. The ACOG, the American College of OBGYNs, it reaffirmed Tylenol is the pain reliever and fever reducer of choice for pregnancy. Use it judiciously at the lowest effective dose for the shortest time, coordinating with your clinician. That's what Dr. Oz is saying. Dr. Oz has now quietly agreed with what was already the prevailing medical wisdom from the association, the American College of OBGYNs, which means that he is saying effectively, don't do what Trump said. The old guidance was the right one. And it wasn't just Dr. Oz. We also heard from Republican Senator Bill Cassidy. I was going to play the clips. I'm not going to do it. Bill Cassidy is a physician. And he said, if you have new data on Tylenol and autism, then show us the data. But the preponderance of evidence right now doesn't support the claim. And that is an actual doctor that is saying this, not a slip of the tongue. So the White House says don't take Tylenol. Trump botches even telling you aceta. And then meanwhile, doctors and medical associations say, actually, that's not the case. So now let's put on our adult hats for 30 seconds. Fever in pregnancy can be dangerous, high fever especially. This is why doctors have long recommended Tylenol for fever when needed. You use the lowest effective dose. You take it for the shortest period of time, as is always the case with any medication. You know, after my famous appendectomy, the appendectomy that shook the medical world to its core, as many of you remember. When I remember when I woke up from surgery, they gave me an opiate painkiller. I don't even know what it was. I was completely out of it. And I took it. And then they gave me 30 of these pills or something. Actually, no, I think I got 30 pills for my wisdom teeth. I think I only got like 8 or 10 pills because by the time of my appendectomy, I think a lot of medicine had come around to, let's not give someone this huge supply of the opiate painkillers. And they said, listen, you can take this. You can also just take Advil, or you can take nothing, depending on how you're feeling. My preference is to take the minimal drug for the minimum period of time. I didn't need, by the time the Novocaine or whatever wore off and the opiate they gave me in the recovery area wore off, I wasn't really feeling that much pain. I was exhausted, I was tired, etc. But I took a couple of Advil, and then that's all I needed. It was the lowest effective dose for the lowest duration of the least impactful drug. This is the status quo. There's quite literally nothing new here. So we really need to consider who we want to get our medical advice from. And even Dr. Oz, who has been propagandized to a great degree and has said a bunch of wacky stuff that I don't agree with over time. On this one, he is reverting back to the prevailing medical wisdom. If you're keeping score, the science still says vaccines don't cause autism. There's no evidence that Tylenol leads to autism. And what we really don't want is presidents improvising for political gain with RFK Jr. standing behind them. We've got a phenomenal bonus show today. They have replaced Biden's portrait with a picture of an auto pen in the Trump White House. It's extraordinarily stupid, but this is the sort of thing that the Trump White House loves. We're also going to talk about the mass firing preparations that are taking place in advance of a possible government shutdown. And there was this statue of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein holding hands that appeared in Washington, D.C. It's already been removed. We will tell you all about it. Hear all of those stories or watch them on today's bonus show by signing up at joinpakman.com. And remember that on the 30th, what day is the 30th? Is it Tuesday? Yeah. Tuesday is the last day of the month. We are doing a one-day membership drive. It will be 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks until the end of Donald Trump's presidency. We will be celebrating that with a 333 themed membership discount. It'll be the largest membership discount we've offered in years. I would love for you to partake. If you would like to be notified on the 30th, simply get on my free newsletter, substack.davidpakman.com. I'll see you on the bonus show. I'll be back tomorrow.